Gaselius is marking her first day of school at Bethune Academy, attending lunch with students. And now, after another court-ordered deadline has passed, 25 trained school resource officers are expected to be in schools today. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
President Trump says he intends to speak with Russian President Putin tomorrow, says he thinks there's a very good chance the U.S. can bring the war in Ukraine to an end. Ukrainian President Zelensky has already accepted a U.S.-backed 30-day ceasefire proposal. Hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members have been flown to El Salvador, where they're now imprisoned. The Trump administration deporting them despite a federal judge's directive against the use of the Alien Enemies Act that allows the deportation of non-citizens without due process. ABC's Mary Bruce reports some non-citizens sued the administration, which led to an emergency hearing on Saturday.
Sources say the planes carrying the alleged gang members took off during the hearing. The administration eager to get them in the air out of U.S. airspace and over international waters before the judge's ruling. In response to that order to turn the planes around, the president of El Salvador, a Trump ally, posting, "Oopsie, too late."
Despite concerns over rising inflation and an economic slowdown, consumers did increase their spending last month. ABC's Jim Ryan has a look at February's retail sales numbers.
It's a middling report from the Census Bureau. Retail sales rose 0.2% from January to February, but well below the Dow Jones estimate for the month. Online spending helped to boost the figure, with virtual retailers reporting a 2.4% bump in sales.
Harley-Davidson rolls out the most expensive motorcycle they have ever made. Milwaukee Business Journal editor-in-chief Timothy Gibbons tells WTMJ about the shocking cost.
Harley is, in some ways, manufactures two things. It makes motorcycles. It also makes kind of a cultural sense of cachet sort of thing. And I think that this motorcycle is more focused on that latter one. It's the type of thing that people can look at and hope to get one day. So the motorcycle will be $110,000.
Harley-Davidson will be making about 12 of these motorcycles per week on a temporary production line in Milwaukee for a total of just 131 units. New study shows how firearm purchaser licensing laws can reduce gun violence. 11 states and the District of Columbia have these laws. Director of Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions, Kelly Roscom, tells Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News.
A study conducted on Connecticut's firearm purchaser licensing law showed that there was a 28% reduction in the state's firearm homicide rate and a 33% reduction in the state's firearm suicide rate.
Roscom says after Missouri repealed their licensing law, the state saw a 25% increase in firearm homicides and a 16% increase in firearm suicides. People around the world will be wearing green today to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. The tradition comes from a lot of lore regarding leprechauns, that mythical creature said to go around pinching people not wearing green. There's also a belief that wearing green on St. Patrick's Day is rooted in the color having become a symbol of Irish identity and resistance against British rule in the 1700s. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 173 points. The Nasdaq down 88. S&P 500 is up 4. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
The most common reason pain sufferers come to us is to be able to perform their daily tasks without suffering through them. Grandparents who want to be able to take their grandkids on walks and to the park. Or those that just want to be able to get out of their vehicle with more ease than pain. Rejuvenex pain treatments can help, and the sooner you get to calming down that pain, the better it will be. These are powerful, FDA-approved pain treatments precisely administered with an extremely small needle to get to the root of your pain. And before you know it, you'll feel the anti-inflammatory power of Toradol and the cushioning relief of hyaluronic acid. Positive patient results are regularities, not rarities. And we do this conveniently in office, so it's very easy for you. And we're in network with most insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, which could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf. Your stress-free spring break trip can start in your driveway with Go Right Way, Wisconsin's largest chauffeured fleet. Whether you're heading to Mitchell Field, O'Hare, or are planning a night on the town, Go Right Way has you covered with door-to-door service. Go Right Way's professional, on-time chauffeurs are background checked, and their vehicles are well-maintained, ensuring comfort and reliability. Your journey starts with a ride you can trust. Book your ride today at GoRightWay.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The field's been set for the 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. Wisconsin is the third seed in the East region after falling to Michigan in the Big Ten Final and battles number 14 Montana in Denver on Thursday. Marquette's number 7 in the South tips off against 10th-seeded New Mexico in Cleveland on Friday. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. The Bucks got crushed by the Thunder 121-105 from Fiserv. Milwaukee had a 2-game winning streak snapped and will visit the Warriors tomorrow night. And the Brewers blast the Guardians 8-2 in spring training baseball from Phoenix. Milwaukee improves to 13-9 in exhibition play and will square off against the Padres this afternoon. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. I-94 East at County Road F. The right shoulder there blocked due to a disabled vehicle, and we still have that vehicle off right. I-43 North at Capitol Drive East. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Few clouds today, mild, breezy, high 49. Clear and breezy overnight with a low 38. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the 40s north, around in the 60s to the south, about 50 in Milwaukee. Cloudy with rain or maybe a wintry mix on Wednesday night after a high of 54. That mix of rain and snow ends early Thursday. Partly cloudy, breezy, high 40. And then partly cloudy and pretty nice on Friday with a high of 55. It's 37 in Madison and in Green Bay, 34 now in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy St. Patrick's Day, wherever you are this morning. I hope your day is off and running to a great green start. A huge crowd downtown on Saturday for the St. Patrick's Day parade. So it seems not a letdown, but when you have such a big, huge event on Saturday, you got to continue the fun on Sunday and Monday. But I have seen some good lines at some of the Irish bars around downtown Milwaukee this morning. So always good to see. It's interesting. We were at the parade on Saturday, and for Lent, I'm giving up alcohol and just diving into the NAs a little bit more. The Guinness NA, if you're going to go that route today, tastes exactly like the original. I mean, it's same head, just a really good, robust taste. A 4-pack, if you're looking at the prices on the Guinness NA, you can get it for about $8.75, depending on where you're buying it. But you get those big 14.9-ounce cans of Guinness. Good stuff for this St. Patrick's Day for sure. So we're always ready to start the week on Mondays with Dave Spano from the CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Dave will join us. I saw in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend that this was an exact quote, that consumers are starting to freak out. And I'm not really sure I 100% buy into this, but there's some new numbers out this morning. So I'm going to ask Dave about the uncertainty in the consumer realm and what consumer sentiment we're all feeling right now. I do get a sense, though, from a travel standpoint, that people are still traveling. They're still booking trips, and they are ready to go for spring break. So we're going to take that travel lens from the bus view when Brad Wallace from Go Right Way Transportation Group joins us later in the show. Go Right Way was founded in 1957. It's run by third generation, still family managed, 1,600 employees here in Wisconsin and around the region. 25 plus locations across the Midwest, too. So I'm excited to talk to Brad just about the changes in the travel space and how they continue to look at their business and grow it. Let's talk about growth a little bit. Two exciting things coming up as we do each and every morning. Let's go. 2 Up.
Now it's time for the 2 Up on the Upswing.
2 Up, two things in the business world that I'm seeing. Topped off downtown. Northwestern Mutual's downtown Milwaukee office tower redevelopment passed a big milestone on Friday. It topped off its 18-story building. A topping off ceremony, it's when that last beam is placed on the top of a structure during construction. It's a $500 million project right at the corner of Mason and Wells Street. It will be completed in 2027. The company is going to move its employees from Franklin, about 2,000 employees, to the downtown campus. This building was originally opened in 1990, kind of been all stripped down to the core and rebuilt into a 32-story office tower that will be open. That was open in 2017. Now the new one will be open in 2027. The project includes $30 million in TIF financing. Northwestern Mutual must meet some job growth targets that include at least 5,700 full-time employees at the downtown campus by the year 2030. Just out this morning, Pepsi is making a pop. Pepsi has agreed to purchase Healthy. A little quote around healthy, but it is healthier. Healthy soda maker Poppy for nearly $2 billion. It's kind of the latest sign that the sector of functional beverages and soda far from fizzling. On top of the net purchase price, the deal includes $300 million of anticipated cash tax benefits, according to CNBC. Pepsi's acquisition follows its decision to cancel its own functional soda, which was going to be called Soul Boost, amid signs that it was going to be a hard route to launch a new brand in the lower sugar, prebiotic Pepsi kind of healthy living soda space. So Pepsi said, you know what? Let's go out and buy somebody who's already doing it well. Pretty interesting. The transaction obviously is subject to customary closing conditions, including regulatory approval. But Poppy is a big brand, started in a kitchen, rose all the way through Shark Tank, got its initial investment, and is now doing really, really well. Will be interesting to see, of course, when Pepsi makes a move. What's Coke going to do? A lot of new functional soda brands out there. I think we'll probably see and hear something from Coke in the coming weeks. You never know, but the healthy soda space and the functional beverage space, definitely more than a trend here in 2025. When we come back, Dave Spano and I will dive in to what the consumers are thinking, and we're going to take a look at the national debt and its impact on how we spend. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Don't count us out. Not
Lillard scoops to the hoop, lays it in. The Bucks have taken a 1-point Lopez in transition, squeezes up a three, and he drilled it. The Bucks throwing fire.
This season is far from over.
To work with drives inside and stuffs it down with the right hand. 59 points now for Giannis. He's tapping his chest as he goes the other way, saying, "This is my house.
We are the home of the Bucks.
This is my house."
WTMJ.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pebble Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ. The work week is here. Let's begin with your Monday market preview with Jeff Sherman and Dave Spano.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. We are joined by Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Dave, happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Indeed, a festive day for sure. I like how the holiday just extends across, 2 weekends, and, people hit the bars early, maybe a little happy hour, and just
St.
make
Practice
it festive.
Day. St. Practice Day, Saturday and Sunday, before St. Patty's Day.
That's right, yes. We like to practice a lot in the wonderful state of Wisconsin. So I wanted to, Dave, kind of get our arms around the state of the U.S. consumer. I mean, it seems like consumer sentiment is falling as there's uncertainty ahead, but there's always uncertainty. What are we seeing in terms of retail sales numbers this morning, and how can we best understand kind of the state of mind of the consumer today?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that are contributing to the shift. So obviously, inflation concerns. So the idea that tariffs will be inflationary is causing some concern. There's stabilizing factors to that, and I understand people's concern because that was one of the reasons why when we had an election, it was such a big part of the conversation. Number two, economic uncertainty, as you point out, are out there. And so it does appear that there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And then that leads into spending patterns. And so if consumers are becoming more selective with their spending, that slows down GDP. But what I'd like to point out, Jeff, is that people are political animals. The University of Michigan breaks out consumer sentiment by political affiliation, and Democrats are pessimistic. In fact, they haven't been this pessimistic in a long time. Conversely, Republican sentiment is pretty normal. So you look at the huge difference of opinions on what tariffs are going to do, what the end game is, how they get fed by the media, and it certainly is having an effect. We'll see an updated GDP number. The Atlanta Fed report comes out, and it was negative. It was negative 2%. Mm-hmm. But they're going to update that this morning because remember we talked about last week that there is this thing where people have all of this incoming products that come into the United States. Well, some of that was gold, and so now they have to take that out of there. And so we're going to see this GDP number go up today as soon as we see the Atlanta Fed release its new number.
Yeah, I saw this morning that 7 of the retail reports from this morning, 7 of its 13 categories posted decreases. Notably, motor vehicles are in that space
autos,
too.
Yep.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That people just aren't buying as many cars, but that's kind of a first quarter thing typically anyway.
It is. Well, you had fires, obviously in California. You had super cold weather around the United States, and I don't think people wanted to stand in a car lot when it was 20 below zero. So, that generally normals out, and you get more of an average. But that's exactly what we saw out of that report this morning.
And to your point on kind of the politics of spending, I want to talk about debt a little bit. How are we best to understand deficit spending and the impacts of the national debt on the economy? Because we don't hear a lot of it from President Trump right now, but is it impacting kind of how we spend money day to day?
Yeah, and again, Trump says one thing. I think you should listen to the secretaries as well. Scott Bessent has been pretty articulate about the point. So just a real primer on this is that if we take in a certain amount of revenue, which comes generally from taxation, for example, and then they spend, well, they're spending almost 7% more than they're taking in. That's the deficit. And all of that the shortcomings, that deficit, that turns into debt. And that goes on top of this $36 trillion of debt. So if they would slow down the deficit spending to a more normal level, I mean, this 6.7 to 7% deficit is something that you would see in a war or a deep recession, and we're in neither one of those. And so deficit spending should be brought in. And if that comes, somewhere to where the GDP number is, call it 3%, the deficit spending wouldn't get out of control. But with all of this debt, what you're having right now is, people are talking about $36 trillion in debt. And what does that mean? I mean, it's not like for example, you can't do that, right? Unless you can print money and have an Air Force, and maybe Jeff Sherman does, but you just can't pay off Jeff Sherman debt with Jeff Sherman currency.
Right.
Right? So they can print money and they can do all these things, but they should bring down some of this deficit spending. And we're seeing Doge talk about some of this stuff right now, and I know it's politically unpopular, but companies go through right sizing. And maybe that's what's happening right now. We're getting right-sized in some of these places. That could be politically inflammatory, but that is really the thought.
Exactly. And I think that's what people are trying to get their arms around. Unlike personal debt, of course, government debt kind of operates differently because governments, they have the ability to tap into the currency. So it's hard for people to really understand the global impact, but it does impact us day to day, without a doubt. When we come back, more with Dave. You have 2 big seminars coming up soon. I want to talk about the unique challenges around retirement and being single in our golden years. This is The Upswing. You are listening to WTMJ.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
the Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
We're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our Ring Size Registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size...
Because, maybe they want to surprise you.
All they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do,
you can't beat Burkhart.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find, with an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service,
You can't beat Burkhart.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, looking at you and your money this morning with Dave Spano, CEO at Annex Wealth Management. Dave, I want to talk a little bit about retirement and kind of the differences of aging with a spouse and aging without a spouse, and what those considerations look like as we look at our portfolios.
Yeah, Jeff, we're seeing a larger percentage of people that have either never been married or are single today. And so you think about what that's going to look like. For example, caregivers, wage disparities between men and women, earnings differences between the two, and benefits. So all of this comes into play. You need support from financial advisors, attorneys, and more. And you just think about, for example, if you're in your home by yourself and something happens, I mean, you don't want to be Gene Hackman there laying there for 9 days. 9 days that he was there. So that is the reason why, having someone else in the house and being with you and helping you care for yourself and others is really important. I just came up with that Gene Hackman thing, but here we are, Hoosier basketball, right? It's March Madness. Coach Norman Dale.
That's right.
He was our
Hoosiers.
guy. What a great
he was
movie.
our guy. Yes. Hoosiers is a great movie. I mean, looked at so many facets of life, and just the ups and downs, and all the basketball scenes though are so similar in that movie. When you really rewatch it, you're like, whoa, that's the same scene over and over.
Exactly. Hey, Shooter had one of the great lines of all time. If you remember, he goes, 3, 2, 1, let her fly, in and out. But I was fouled. So I use that every time I miss a shot. I was fouled.
Yes. But keep shooting. Always keep shooting.
Keep firing.
Yes. So, Dave, we're heading into the summer season. You can taste it a little bit. We got a good taste this weekend, and a lot of families around Wisconsin have smaller cottages or lake homes or maybe investment properties. What are the basics from a family lens when you're looking at multiple family members that may inherit a vacation home? I mean, that probably there's a lot of excitement there, but there's a lot that goes into it then.
Yeah, there's no question, because you have to have the conversation. There are some kids who don't want it. I mean, they just don't want to go. They don't want to get in the water in cold October and try to pull that pier out. They have no interest in that, right? Or driving up north and then they have to cut the lawn there when they just cut it. So you have to have these open dialogues, and do you want it? Now, some people do. And if you do, what's the ownership? What's the structure? Should it be in a limited liability company? Should it be in a trust? Should it be joint tenancy? These are the first questions you need to have. And then the second question would be, if it's shared, what's the usage schedule? Who's going to pay the taxes? Who's responsible for maintenance and repairs? So you have to have this plan. You have to get it out, because it's emotional. You think about, listen, this was mom and dad's cottage, and they cut these trees down back in '57 or whatever, right? And so there is a lot that goes into it. So having these conversations, understanding the entities to make sure you have a smooth and conflict-free transfer, that's really part of this financial planning that we do. Holding family meetings and setting expectations really is a really practical first step. Structure, how you're going to manage it, all of these things are really important.
Yeah, and to be able to take a little bit of that emotion out of it and treat it like a business, and not like there is an emotion in business, but you really have to kind of put together the right outline and budgets and treat it like, hey, this is ours, and we have to manage this in the proper way and really know what the costs are going to be.
Yeah, that's right. And, we're going to go through this process if you're interested, not to make a pitch here, but we have a lot of presentations that we do. We do webinars, we do in-person. We talked about singles and retirement and saving the family cottage. If you're interested, go to annexwealth.com/events, and you'll see all of the events that we have. And then we have another one coming up in mid-April called Are Annuities Worth It? Because we see a lot of people pitching these products and don't understand the cost and the illiquidity of some of these things. So understand what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it.
Very good. Dave, enjoy the rest of the week. Always appreciate your time.
Thank you, my friend.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News is next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A doctor from Lebanon who arrived at the Boston airport was deported over the weekend without explanation, despite having a U.S. visa and a job teaching at Brown University. A judge had ordered she not be sent back until there was a hearing, but government lawyers say that customs officials didn't get the word in time. U.S. shoppers stepped up their spending just a bit in February after a sharp pullback the previous month. Retail sales rose just 0.2%. A small rebound after a sharp drop the month before. One thing people are buying again, eggs. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says they're costing less.
The average wholesale price nationwide fell to $4.15 per dozen. So let's put that in perspective. That is down about $2.70 in just 1 week. Prices were over $8 at the end of last month.
NCAA basketball tournament standings are out. From gambling to office pools to family contests, Challenger Gray and Christmas predict that $17 billion will be lost in productivity during the tourney. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Everybody's okay after a gas leak in Madison. A resident living near Mifflin and Blair on Madison's northeast side reported a natural gas smell Sunday evening. Firefighters confirmed the gas was coming from a stove in an unoccupied apartment. They found no problems in the other apartments. Registered sex offender arrested for filming children at a grade school. Racine County Sheriff's Office took 43-year-old Paul Shelton into custody March 13th for multiple violations, including failing to update his sex offender status. His significant other was arrested for bail jumping. Their children have been placed with Racine County Protective Services and charges are still pending. Crash overnight kills one and injures 5 others, including a 4-month-old. Happened early this morning near 37th and Brown on Milwaukee's west side, taking the life of a 24-year-old woman. 3 cars were involved, including one parked on the street. The baby was inside that vehicle and is now at the hospital, along with 4 adults. No word yet of any arrests. Time for some news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 214 points, 41,702. Nasdaq down 67 at 17,687. S&P 500 up 7 points at 5,646. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still blocking the right shoulder, I-43 North, Capitol Drive East. Disabled vehicle there. They are in the process of clearing that off, but take some extra time. Give yourself some extra time. There's a little bit of slowing in that area. Again, I-43 North at Capitol Drive East. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Few clouds today. Otherwise, it'll be mild, breezy, high 49. Mostly clear overnight with a low 38. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with highs in the 40s north, about 50 in Milwaukee, 60s in the south. Then after a high of 54 on Wednesday, look for rain or a wintry mix Wednesday evening. Thursday, that wintry mix ends early, partly cloudy, breezy, high 40. And then Friday, partly cloudy, mild with a high of 55. Right now in Madison, 37, 37 in Green Bay, 34 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1033.
It's St. Patrick's Day. Celebrate at the amazing O Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. The Mine Shaft is the most affordable St. Patrick's Day dining destination in the area. Beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price today from 2 till 5. Half price, even on St. Patrick's Day. You'll love the big plate of corned beef and cabbage for $9.99. You may not be able to finish it. And when you buy pizza today, you get a second pizza free. Yes, a free pizza today with plenty to take home for tomorrow. Have lunch or dinner today at the Mine Shaft and enjoy the corned beef and cabbage platter for just $9.99. Wherever you live, it's worth a drive to the old Mine Shaft today for the St. Patrick's Day celebration. It's in beautiful downtown Hartford and just off Highway 41 in Oshkosh near the EAA. Everyone is Irish on St. Patrick's Day. Beers, cocktails, and appetizers are half price from 2 till 5 today. at the Mine Shaft.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scavidi. I've been on this weight loss journey for about 4 weeks, and I've already lost 20 pounds thanks to my amazing team at Milwaukee Weight Loss. My wife's on board. Kathy loves it, and we are both feeling more energized.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. That's up to a pound per day. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. It is travel season. We are entering peak travel season without a doubt. It's that time when, you live in the Midwest, you're like, it's time to get away for a while. Although I always say, if I had to pick 1 month to just leave the Milwaukee I love, I think it would be May. Because when you get to May, you're like, you've had all these wonderful, nice days, and May always seems to be a little bit more funky than you think. When it gets down to 40 degrees in May, you're like, oh, man, get me away. But no matter what, you got to travel well, and Go Right Way helps you do that for sure. Brad Wallace joins us in studio. Brad is the Director of Sales and Marketing at Go Right Way Transportation Group. Brad, I appreciate your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for letting me come in here, and thanks for the ZZ Top intro. You did not know that was my favorite band, but
there you go.
Nice
That's
job.
right. That's right. We make our guests good in the seats for sure.
Waiting for the bus.
Yeah. So, what's the business look like for you today?
Today, it's really wide open. We're picking up from a winter of our core customers. And people are traveling, businesses are traveling. We do a lot of collegiate athletic work.
Okay.
Tours across the country, multiple days, and going across the country. So this time of the year, spring's emerging, and so are a lot of our customer categories as well too.
Yeah, I mean, we're living in this rideshare on-demand world right now, and when you look at your fleet of buses and transportation vehicles across the region, how do you kind of manage the competition with the Ubers and Lyfts of the world?
That's a tough one, and it really depends on the customer. So what we sell are private chauffeured transportation vehicles and drivers.
Okay.
And what that means is we employ the drivers, we own and maintain the vehicles. I'm not trying to turn this into a commercial here, but that's the difference. And so when you get into a ride share, there's a little bit of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
We are approachable. We're here 24/7. You can pick up the phone or go online. You can talk to a real person. It's not an app.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing is that we're not only family-owned, locally based, but that's the key differentiation point. That, all right, if someone is, if you're concerned about what time they're showing up or whatever, you can give a call and we can give you that satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. Have you sensed that I heard the CEO of Uber a couple of weeks ago talking about, like, one of their things they really want to do at Uber is increase the co-ridership to reduce their costs. People got away from that. They got so accustomed to, hey, here's a single vehicle. It's my vehicle. It gets me from A to B. Is that wanting to be with others as you travel, whether it's bus or Uber? Is that like coming back? Because it helps with congestion, right? And it helps on the cost side.
Right. And now that's a proposition. It's a tough proposition to sell when people have that app on their phone. They can get picked up in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or they can use our app or go online, give us a call, and arrange for that ride. And, there's not a lot of there's no surge pricing in our world and in our situation. Yeah. So we're not going to charge any more for a 5:30 in the morning pickup versus a 10 o'clock in the morning pickup. We're also picking up from office, hotel, home, and can take you all of those places as well, too. Now, while the rideshare app can do that, the rideshare app is probably not going to do that in a way that is as professional. And a lot of people have come to us and commented to us that said that this is worth the price. It is a little bit more. It is worth the security, and they can tell that the drivers are there for that specific purpose. We have a little saying that we try to try not to make as public, but I'd love to put this on a billboard or something like that, and that is our drivers wear suits, tour, so to speak, because then what they're really talking about is a scheduled service. So if you want to set up a scheduled service and you want to curtail to that, and you might have to leave an hour or two earlier than you want, then you might be doing that.
We're talking with Brad Wallace from Go Right Way. Brad, to your point on drivers, I want, when we come back from the break, to talk about recruitment.
Sure.
If what are the strategies as a company that you're looking at? I'm sure there's some driver shortage out there, but there's probably a big pool of people that are like, wow, get me into the industry. What's the flexibility? What's that pipeline? And what do those recruitment strategies look like for you? This is The Upswing. You are listening to WTMJ.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman. Speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Your financing requests, they can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and your business. Horicon Bank, they always get the job done. Together, doing good. That's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Tired of staring at the same old garage door? Vince Vitrano here, Lifetime Door Company, wants to give you a new one for free. Your chance to win by texting GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. All you need to do is take a picture of your garage door or get creative. Tell us a story. Register to win, and you can pick the door of your dreams. Valued at up to $8,000, text GARAGE to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
Pain can make you feel like no matter what you try, it's not going to work. Or it can make you try any and everything. And most times, that'll make you feel like you've been taken for a ride. It's hard to believe that there's a solution to your pain problem that works, is safe, and is actually affordable. But that's why most insurance plans pay for pain treatments from Rejuvenex, because they're FDA approved and they do work. Toradol and hyaluronic acid work together to substantially alleviate your pain. And we've seen patients experience pain relief for greater than 2 years after completing a series of treatments. Is it a one and done? No. But at as low as $65 per joint? It's an affordable alternative to surgery. And it's not an expensive cross your fingers and hope it works experiment. Especially for older pain sufferers, the pain treatment that Rejuvenex offers is worth trying, because the vast majority of patients who do live better lives in a lot less pain. Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Spanning the State with Kristen Bry.
I think most of us bemoan how much money has influenced politics. You can't avoid getting ads for the race, so it's harder to claim ignorance that you just didn't know that the election was happening when there is that much money to be reminding you all the time in every different medium. Hey, don't forget to vote.
And Brian Noonan.
If you never stand up to this kind of behavior, this kind of racist rhetoric, even if you're just with somebody and they make that comment, if you don't stand up and say something, you're complicit in that statement.
Only on WTMJ.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. We are joined by Brad Wallace. Brad is with Go Right Way. So Brad, as you look at recruitment and retention from a driver lens, how are you addressing the driver shortage? I mean, there's really a shortage nationwide. And when you kind of hone that in on a regional level, what does that look like for you guys?
It's probably one of the things that we spend the most amount of time on is recruitment. As a company, as a school bus operator across 40 different locations across the state, as well as our commercial services area with motor coaches all the way to the sedans and SUVs, that is probably our number one effort is recruiting and retaining drivers and trying to illustrate that we're an employer of choice. Mm-hmm. It's through programs like being flexible. There are some recruitment kind of referral promotions that we have internally because we really feel like though the drivers that are driving for us, whether it's in a sedan, motor coach, school bus, are probably going to be hanging out or dealing with or related to drivers that would be just as good as they are. And so we do get a lot of referrals that way. Mm-hmm. And we've tried to be as innovative as possible and try to find new ways. We've experimented with different ways to appeal to the community aspect, that you are contributing to the community and making sure that as a school bus driver or as a motor coach driver that you're valued.
Yeah. What about the school bus business on your side? How has that changed through the years? And is that a different recruitment process and training process?
Yeah, I mean, that is an intense training process. But let's get back to the recruitment. The recruitment really ramps up in the summer when we are kind of preparing for what we call school startup in August and September. And we're still recruiting even after the school year starts. There's a little bit of a fall off sometimes on people, whether they are transient and getting other jobs or whatever. But we want to try to make sure that that we're fully staffed at that time. And as far as the training is concerned, what has changed really has been the advent of technology. And so we are able to look at routes and put them on a tablet and have people drive those routes that way. That is also kind of digitize the bus from a standpoint of where it's located, and then we can provide that information in an app for parents and schools. That is something that honestly Uber has kind of brought into the platform and into the industry.
Yeah,
and other bus and transit kind of platforms have done that as well too. So you're looking for, all right, is that bus late? Even if it's 3 minutes late, when it's 15 degrees outside, that's a big difference. So you can track it, and those are things that we're experimenting with, and we've actually implemented in some of our districts.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to use technology and data to drive decisions—that's what everyone wants from a consumer lens, but obviously from a corporate lens as well. When we come back, I want to talk about the challenges of expanding Go Right Way services into new regions and new markets, and kind of how you plan to overcome those. And then let's look specifically at spring break, how you work with MKE, and what that process is for people to book and use Go Right Way. This is The Upswing. You are listening to WTMJ.
This March, Heiser Automotive Group is putting the pedal to the metal with our Accelerate Your Refund sales and service event. Tax season is the best time to upgrade your ride or take care of your current vehicle. And we're making it easier than ever to turn your tax refund into turbocharged buying power. Accelerate into a newer used vehicle or get essential repairs and maintenance done. Plus, with Heiser's exclusive Safe and Sound program, you can buy and service with confidence, convenience, and peace of mind. Visit Heiser.com today.
See dealer for complete details.
Are you over 18 years old, over 280 pounds, and interested in participating in a clinical research study? If so, you may be eligible to participate in a research study involving MRI scanning. You may qualify to participate if you are 18 years of age or older and not employed by GE Healthcare, are able to hear and understand English, are over 280 pounds, are not pregnant, do not have any tattoos or permanent makeup, have no implants with the exception of permanent orthodontic retainers and breast implants. Pierre O'Godden is a principal investigator for the study being held at 3200 North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Study scans are investigational, and the use of these devices has not been cleared by the FDA. The study is not being performed for diagnostic purposes. It is not intended to replace your medical care. Your appointment will last up to 4 hours, and for your time and travel to GE Healthcare in Waukesha, you'll be offered a gift card valued at $80 per appointment at GE Healthcare's MRI facility. To learn more, please call GE Healthcare at 262-312-7855. Again, that's 262-312-7855.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burghardt.
Are you on track to achieve your retirement plans? Hi, I'm Jeff Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We've recently joined Creative Planning, a national registered investment advisor. This move to Creative expands our ability to provide comprehensive wealth management, investment advisory, and retirement planning services. Now is the time to put your lifetime of hard work into action. For over 37 years, we've helped clients toward making their retirement dreams become a reality, and we'd like to help you too. And the best part, your plan will be completely tailored to you. Our in-house team of specialists will take the time to learn about you and your family, review your current situation, and find out what your goals are. Then we'll design a plan to help you get there. To get started, request your free meeting today with one of our fiduciary advisors by visiting creativeplanning.com. Whether you have met with us in the past or this will be your first meeting with us, we're excited to introduce Kowal Investment Group to you as Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com today.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. We talk all the time about Tri-County Contracting, the place to go for roofs and siding, but don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also does windows. Need a new front entry door? Tri-County Contracting, or maybe a patio door that's always jammed. Get your free estimates today. They've been helping homeowners like you for 46 years. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hop on the bus, Gus. You don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, leave, and get yourself free. Ooh, slip out the back.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. I'm joined by Brad Wallace from Go Right Way. Brad, so last summer, Go Right Way acquired Westland Bus Lines, transportation provider in Marinette.
That's right.
How do you, when you look at the acquisitions, kind of merge the different corporate cultures and really look at the challenges on, like, how is this market different than that market?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you really need to search for a good fit. Pre-pandemic, there were about 3,000 motor coach operators. After that, and in present day, there was about half. And so there were a lot of businesses that failed. There were some that kind of held on as long as they could. There are some that are potentially aging out. So when we are looking at acquisition opportunities, there's a lot of criteria. Obviously, location really plays into it, and how easy is it for us to kind of expand and kind of support another location. But in the case of Westland and a couple of other acquisitions that we've gone into, these were privately held, family-owned, very similar cultures to Go Right Way, and we try not to play that big company type of role where we're coming in. It's like, all right, we know this, we know this, we know this. We know a lot of things, and we can consolidate a lot of things, but no one knows the local market better than those operators. And so in Marinette, for instance, there's a couple of key personnel there that have stayed on. Many have stayed on, but there are a couple of key ones there that really you want to make sure that you have that transition team, and then also a team that's going to continue on in operating that location. And then from our perspective, we can bring the expertise, the larger lens, so to speak. And so we've put together acquisitions that have really expanded our footprint into Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and then we're even kind of edging into Minnesota as well with some of our locations, specifically in La Crosse.
All right, so spring break right ahead this coming week for many schools. How do you work with the airport here, and what's that process for people to get picked up at home and get taken to the airport?
Well, the great thing about working with MKE is that at the baggage claim area, we are the only transportation provider that actually has a booth. We're right across from the baggage claim 3.
Okay.
Sometimes it's manned, sometimes it's not, but that's where we have a meeting area for our customers and our drivers. But if you are going with Go Right Way and you're going to go on your spring break, we're going to be picking you up. It's going to be stress-free, door-to-door, right to the curb, right there. You don't have to worry about parking. You don't have to worry about anything but starting that vacation right away. And then when you're picked up, we have a chauffeur with a sign, your name on it, as you're coming down the escalator at that baggage claim.
Yeah.
And we just basically escort you to the car and get you on your way, you out of there.
For spring breaks as a family, we've done the vans. You know, it's just the pickup there's 3 houses to pick up. It's easy. Everyone on board. What does that cost approximately? Obviously, it kind of depends where you're going.
So
but can you give us an estimate?
Right. If it's going to be in Port Washington, it's going to be one thing. It's going to be in New Berlin or Oak Creek. We're based in Oak Creek, and so everything really kind of comes down to hours and miles. So it was really kind of tough to put a cost on something like that. But right around $100 for a sedan is going to service most of the area out west and north of town as well.
Very good. Brad Wallace, Director of Sales and Marketing at Go Right Way Transportation Group. Brad, all the best with the upcoming travel season. And we'll do this again very soon.
Sounds good.
All right. Appreciate your time. Coming up next is Wisconsin's Midday News. But first, we're going to do some local and regional business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
A decade-old proposal is back for pedestrian bridges over Lincoln Memorial Drive and a gathering space near